It's the early 2010s. Justin Bieber has transitioned into a light skin. Daytime TV tyrant Ellen was still well liked. And a new crop of collagen-filled teeny boppers have catapulted to viral fame and fortune. You are crusty, broke, and bitter. A deadly triple dipper combo deal that breeds the worst flavor of hater. You glare at your cracked phone screen and think, what? I could do this! Is aesthetic Tourette's all it takes to make more money than a pediatric surgeon? But that was many moons and ulcers ago. On occasion, you take a break from aggressively mouth breathing and not doing your job and think to yourself, whatever happened to those little dollops of whipped cream? Bonjour, mon chéris. This is why the French hate us. Welcome back to my retrospectives, where this episode I am taking a break from focusing on traditional YouTubers that were partially responsible for rotting my adolescent brain, but let's be real, I would have gotten there on my own. And instead I am delving into general viral sensations/memes of the 2010s. As always, if there is a creator that you want me to cover in a future episode, let me know down below. I really am dressed like a funky social studies teacher, aren't I? Miss Frizzle if she actually had money. Alright, let's delve into the life, career, and, most importantly, the current whereabouts of even more Aryan Justin Bieber. Just kidding. If anything, he's actually more like if Eminem had a stable home life. MattyB Raps, aka Matthew David Morris. This little shortbread cookie was born on January 6th of 2003 in southern McMansion Haven, Duluth, Georgia. But I think he then eventually moved to just some general suburb of Atlanta. His family consisted of parents Blake and Tawny, 3 older brothers, and a younger sister. Blake and Tawny. That sounds like a couple from a Southern Nicholas Sparks novel. Now, Papa Blake was an entrepreneur of sorts, and they don't really give too many details, and you know what that means. Crime! For legal purposes, that was a joke. Matty's older cousin, Mars, is also a rapper/musician, even making it to Hollywood Week on the 2010 season of the national humiliation ritual that is American Idol. After his mother unfortunately passed away, Mars moved in with his auntie and uncle. He was cooking up beats, spitting bars in the Morris family home studio. And depending on how stacked their money was, that could have actually been like a legit studio, or it could have just been a sad closet. Regardless, little Matthew got infected with the sonic spirit. He was penning his own lyrics, begging Mars to allow him to record his bars, and I guess eventually they looked down on his moist puppy dog eyes and went, ugh, fine. Regarding his stage name, the Matty in MattyB is obviously a nickname for Matthew, but the B is meant to represent be who you wanna be. It is unfortunately not an homage to the cinematic classic B movie, nor is it a reference to Junie B. Jones, because apparently nobody appreciates great literature anymore. In 2010, his video, 7-Year-Old Raps Justin Bieber, Eeny Meeny, they really got all those keywords in that title, didn't they? They knew what they were doing. That video reached over 500,000 views in its first week. The chorus remains the same, but Matty had his own rated G and slightly more personal lyrics in the verses, which was the general model for his song covers. One of his covers, by the way, was of Juicy by Biggie.
Yeah, this song is dedicated to every doubter that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people who put me down and made fun of me when I was just trying to go after something that I really wanted. And everybody with a dream, you know what I'm saying? Ha, it's all good, baby.
You know what? Why not at this point? In Matty's version of Eeny Meeny, he's rapping about how he likes this shawty, Justin Bieber's influence. But she has a crush on him and a boy that's in the 3rd grade. MattyB ain't got time for your trifling games, girl. They took it down from his actual channel for copyright issues. I like to think that Scooter Braun caught a peep of Matty's baby blues and sent out a virtual hit squad against Matty for stepping on his meal ticket's turf. Papa Blake, being a businessman, eventually became Matty's and Mars's manager. Their goal was to, quote, inspire people to believe in their dreams. To be fair, at 7, I think my goal was to literally skinwalk as Hannah Montana. Or Alex Russo, actually. I think I just wanted to look good in skinny jeans. This photo is sending me. Oh, that is a grandma's lock screen right there. His family claims that they were letting him move at his own pace. Like, he still went to regular school and still lived in Georgia with them. I'm generally against placing children in the entertainment industry, even if it's just online. Honestly, just let little people play kids' roles. It's the same costume sizes, and they can legally work longer hours. Plus, you can get a drink with them after. I also feel like all little people just know how to play dice. I'm getting off track. But based on what adult Matthew has said regarding his childhood, it doesn't seem like this was a stage parents sadly living vicariously through their kids kind of situation. It seems like he actually had a semblance of normalcy. On June 22nd of 2010, he uploaded the first video that is actually still available on his main channel, I Believe in You. This was his first real song that wasn't a cover. God bless him, okay? And he is cute as a freaking button. But he is rapping how a 7-year-old would rap.
I hope to hear what I say. At my age, dreams are made out of thinking of ways to make every day another fun game to play. Another opportunity to have something to say.
It's so sincere though. You know, like I can't knock it. And again, it's meant to be an inspirational song for like, elementary school students. I'm not expecting Blueface level lyricism, you know? I couldn't even keep a straight face for that one.
Think about dreams.
I think they're good and that you should just believe.
Tell me why.
Because that's the way that you accomplish things.
Just believe.
No, you also gotta work.
MattyB, that ain't what I want to
Well,
hear.
the truth hurts. What I mean to say is, dreams take time.
Wait a minute, hold on. Who's actually spitting here? And also, the grown man in this video is his cousin Mars. Matty seemed like he was actually one of those kids that just had crushes a lot, but they really leaned into marketing him as being like girl crazy, teehee.
I'm really in love with her. I really think I'm in love with her. I just think, well, I'm deep in love.
Matty was also a big fan of dance. He'd be pop locking and dropping, so he would call his fans B-girls and B-boys. A lot of his early covers have since been taken down, but he had built up enough of a fan base that by spring of 2011, he was performing with Digitour. One of his early hits that was really emblematic of his wholesome yet charismatic persona was Sugar Sugar. He is shimmying it up in his grandma's retirement village, just really rubbing it in that his knees are still functional. Had that Metamucil taste. He was doing the media rounds at this time, even appearing on wig connoisseur Wendy Williams' show. In 2011, he also created his second channel. It was very laid back, behind the scenes, Q&As, assaulting his family members, grappling with his heartbreaking Minecraft addiction. He did not slow down in 2012. The baby teeth are out, with songs that leaned into his more romantic and supportive side, like Be Right There. In This Girl Is Mine, he and his
African-American
Spot a Girl whose dance moves are just killer. Okay, I fully expected her to do like a proper B-girl break dance. The camera accidentally zooms out and it's just a grown male dancer wearing Hannah Montana merch, Flashdance style. In late 2012, Matty peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Social 50 chart with his song That's the Way. A lot of his songs and lyrics and, you know, corresponding music videos are what you would expect a 10-year-old artist to make. His enunciation and lyrics have improved though. I mean, yeah, he was 7 when he debuted. Much like Sophia Grace and the potential mute Rosie. I'm not even saying that in jest. I've legit never heard this girl speak or sing. She honestly could have been a hostage this whole time. Regardless, you know how entertainers like them who are young will start releasing music and people are like, this is corny. What do you expect them to sing about? Popping bottles and clinical depression? They're babies. You gotta wait until like at least middle school for that. Baby MJs of the world, those are the exception. And even he had to have his entire childhood and innocence destroyed in order to be exceptional. The production of Matty's songs are very much of their era. It's a lot of light EDM, you know what I mean? Like think post-fade Calvin Harris. I don't know who took this man from the British Isles to an Oakland barbershop, but he started walking different after this haircut. By 2013, he was collabing with other artists like the long, luscious eyelash mannequin from Big Time Rush, James Maslow. Men do not deserve lashes like this. I'm brave enough to say it. He had a headline tour at Gramercy Theater. He shows us a little bit of background footage. He's doing lines. He's having an existential crisis in the mirror. He's getting like psychotic hallucinations of Cody Simpson, Black Swan style. Nah, of course not. I wish it was that insane. He's just like sipping a Capri Sun and hanging out with his mommy. Hooked on You was 2013's big hit. He's still staying true to that girl crazy sweetheart persona. There's this girl I like, and she looks like my sister. By the end of 2013, not only had he collabed with the Coco Jones.
And you would do it too for a check. I was an employee. And I was gonna get Employee of the Month, and that's on period.
But his channel reached over 1 billion views. Now, this was the year that, according to his papa, the MattyB brand actually became profitable. And I think this is what a lot of people don't seem to understand about even people who go viral online, is that sometimes it takes a bit of time for it to be a financially lucrative endeavor. In his case, this was due to a lot of their early song covers having melodies that were still copyrighted, so they weren't even making money off of a lot of these covers, but eventually they built their relationships with these record labels, and now they were Gucci. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I used that word unironically. I'm getting older, and you know what? I'm not ashamed of it at this point. In 2014, he created the web series MattyB's World, which was a behind-the-scenes look into his life, and like any reality TV show, it is heavily scripted. But like a lot of these shows, they have to be. They're mostly just being used for cross-promotion. This is the show that brought us this iconic vine.
Then I love this dance called the Nene, and so whenever we hit it, it gets pretty crazy.
By this year, he was doing another round of media interviews for his cover of polyester blend queen Cyndi Lauper's True Colors, made in defense of his sister Sarah after he noticed her being generally socially ostracized and noticing how some kids would shy away from playing with her on the playground. From 2014 to 2017, he was on his grind. He was doing a lot of collabs with family channels like the Shack sisters. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Great hair in that family, by the way. And of course, he was doing collabs with the cast of modern contemporary Guantanamo dance moms, pop locking and dropping in a non-segregated 1950s diner. He was hitting all of the trends of the era on his vlog channel, a lot of challenges, scarfing down a lot of preservatives. He contributed to the soundtrack of the Awesomeness TV-produced Netflix series for trust fund kid prototype Richie Rich. He began collabing with vocalist Brooke Addy, and she would get featured as a sort of disembodied female vocals on a lot of the choruses for his songs. Right Now, I'm Missing You, and Far Away were very popular. Hey, baby Jojo Siwa, I knew I'd see you here. I mean, this was years before her, lesbian sabbatical. The lovey-dovey songs of his that are about yearning can tend to be very dramatic, but it's like at this age, all of your feelings tend to be so overwhelming. So I can sympathize. I'm starting to feel like a guidance counselor. I think it's the fact that I'm wearing more than one ring. In summer of 2015, he dropped his debut EP, Outside the Lines. In 2016, he released his memoir, That's a Wrap, with the help of writer Travis Thrasher. This seems to be more of an inspirational and more intimate look into his life and music, as opposed to, a traditional memoir. I mean, it's supposed to be lighthearted. This isn't, I'm glad my mom's dead.
What's up, guys? MattyB here, and as you can tell, I have a huge announcement.
It's quite jarring, because around this time, he's started to hit puberty, and his voice has gotten deeper. This marks his teen era, where his lyrics still hit the main 3 topics: follow your dreams / hustle, general relatable kid stuff, and, of course, I'm in love with this fine suburban shotty. Yeah, girl, I'm spending it all on you. I want to watch you clean a burrito out your braces. Yeah. I really underestimated how popular he was during this era, because this channel racked up 15 million subscribers. 2016 marked his tongue-in-cheek bad boy arc, starting with Live for Today.
I mean, the file that I've got on this kid, if I was a cop, he'd be in jail for life.
What is he doing, running a empire? All of this built up to the infamous, dare I say, iconic cover photo for his track California Dreaming. In the accompanying music video, they ship this little blonde Q-tip to prison, whole style, for being too much of a dreamer. That's what I say. You know what? No, I agree with this. Send the hippies to the desert. And I don't feel any type of way dressed like this and making that statement. The cross-promotion for this era on his Twitter was peak. I don't know who was running this account, but they knew exactly what they were doing. Like, they're clearly in on the joke. I don't think Matty was really taking himself that seriously. And a lot of the posts that are not promoting anything are just a selfie, and the caption's like, just got back from church, shoddy. How did you spend your weekend? It's so wholesome, He's doing a lot more singing as well as rapping. It's very sad boy style. A lot of the visuals are very clearly inspired by Justin Bieber's Purpose era. He also had this tongue-in-cheek fake relationship with this other content creator named Ivy Meeks. By 2018, he had been online long enough to be able to react to his older MattyB videos. I mean, he kinda cringes, but he still remembers this era fondly. Eventually, he just started doing reaction videos to his recent music video drops. That's called cross-promotion, baby, I think. By 2019, Matty was in his buzz cut era, getting more contemplative. His song Monsters was about not wanting to be a bystander to bullying. I think the message of the song is inherently good, but the music video features like the kind of Disney Channel bullying that exists in a lot of media that tends to be written by adults. Like, you know, teens in 2019 printing out a meme, let alone it being in this format. You know what I mean? Now, Matty had always been pretty open about being a Christian, but the lyrics of this song in particular lean a lot more into his faith and wanting to act in a manner that is more Christ-like. 2020 marked his peroxide era. The song End of the Day focuses on everybody having their own inner struggles, but Matty could still be goofy with songs like Serious. It's still very innocent, but again, he's like 17, and you know what? I'd much rather a teen have like rated G lyrics and, I don't know, be seen as too squeaky clean, rather than like while out and be forced to grow up too quickly, and then be as jaded and scarred as a Vietnam vet before they're at an age where they can even rent a car. He even had, I guess, what was his version of a BLM song. It was called Colors, and his light-skinned BFF Justin is in it. And again, like, look, you know, his Yakubian heart was in the right place, but this was very Dar Man-esque. In 2021, he was like, you know what? It's time to move behind the camera. He began featuring artists that I think were under his label, which was called MattyB LLC. He was directing these younger creators, as well as members from other family channels like the Davis sisters, doing covers of his older songs. You know what? Good for him. That's double the profits off the same songs. But then eventually he did begin featuring these artists' original music, still leaning into the familiar themes of young love, bullying, girl power, tax evasion, systematically breaking down your siblings psychologically, etc. This boys versus girls dance battle video was the biggest hit from this era.
What the?
So he was still studying the trends and tapping into what younger audiences wanted to see, which is apparently a lot of neon clothing and rated G revenge fantasies. Wait until they see the end scene of Carrie. In 2022, he started a podcast, The Matthew Morris Show. There was one episode, but it did feature his former fake boo, Ivy Meeks. He was still making original music. 2022 onward was his shaggy hair era. His singles were a bit more grown. Utopia explores a romantic interest that he is yearning for. Production-wise, he was leaning into the pop-punk trend of the time. He sings and raps almost equally, actually, in these songs. So he's like, I don't know, like a white Drake. Whiter. By 2013, his uploads on his YouTube became a lot less frequent. He did, however, have a little Twilight Zone moment where he's 20 now when he's confronted by the younger version of himself. Older Matty is like, look, I'm grown now. Honestly, I've been done with you since like high school. And then little MattyB backhands him and tells him, I built this! You're gonna respect me! No, that's how I would have directed the music video. But he takes a more subtle approach and learns to accept the younger version of himself, even if he might think, you know, he was a little cringy. Who wasn't at that age? Because you have to accept who you were back then, because who you were then made you now. Yeah. 2014 to present day, he has shifted primarily to posting other artists on his YouTube, and they've been like progressively getting younger. I'm half expecting the next drop to just be a fetus. His latest video, Bad Guy, was uploaded in August of this year. His vlog channel does contain more of his original music, which he produces and composes as well as writes, but it seems like obviously YouTube is not really a priority of his at this point. Now again, he had always been pretty open about his faith, but the past 2 years in particular, he has been consistently posting his Bible readings and his commentary on his short form platforms. His IG is pretty chill. He's just hanging out with his family, working out, sprawled out in his comfortable walking shoes in Europe. But let's delve into his more recent discography. Forever and Always had him contemplating about his past. I mean, he's been in the game for over 10 years now, but he hasn't lost his passion. That pen is still slicked with sweat. Miss It is probably my personal favorite. It is acoustic. I was truly about to say autistic. Shout out to my stimmers out there. He's old enough by this point to have experienced his first real relationship. He's having regrets about things that he should have said or done. He's just singing in this. His facial hair at this point is like a chic gas station worker. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. Serenity has Matty struggling with temptation. The production is very, I don't know, lo-fi hip-hop beat. Look, I don't know how to describe music on a technical level, okay? And I don't know if I can even play any of his music because I don't want to get a copyright strike. All I'm saying is that little lo-fi girl would be gently nodding her head to this beat. Fool is an acoustic love track about acting like a fool for this girl. Matty's apprehensive about the relationship. It's a lot more like breathy singing. Like, you know, he was real close to that mic. Lost goes back to that sad hip-hop beat, more slurry vocals on the chorus. As you'd expect, he is talking about feeling lost in the music industry. Roller Coaster, again, incorporates that same, you know, lo-fi hip-hop beat. It's about a turbulent relationship where his emotions are on a roller coaster. I gotta say, the titles of his songs are pretty straightforward. This was very, I don't know, like pre-Baby Daddy Drake. In his song Better Off, though, I can only describe his flow as future-esque. Actually, that might have been Migos. Regardless, I don't think I'm allowed back in Atlanta after that. But you get what I'm talking about, right? In the song, MattyB talks about how he is better off just kind of doing his own music independently as opposed to compromising his values for the music industry. He's trying to get right with God. Poetry is about how a girl is like poetry when she speaks. He can't hide his feelings for her. And again, he's just singing in this one. On his socials, he will, I don't know, like begrudgingly stroll down memory lane on occasion.
Yep, that's where that one gets turned off.
Aw, that thing with him and Justin was very cute. He will occasionally dip his toes in making, you know, relatable sketches or playing games like Guess the Price. He's still making independent music and seems content just chilling in the South, you know, munching on Bojangles and gin, whatever y'all eat down there. And, you know, it's not always my cup of tea, but I try to be as impartial as I possibly can in these retrospectives, you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm just dragging someone unnecessarily. Unless they genuinely did something heinous. But, you know, he seems content. There really is no drama, you know what I mean? Like, he minds his business. He pays his taxes, I assume. It's so strange because he's only 4 years younger than me. But he's already had this whole career. He's made it into the meme hall of fame. He's done more than I have. Like, he's done more than most of us. And after you say that out loud, you can't really knock him. Good for you, MattyB. Good for you. My episode on Jacob Sartorius is gonna be next. Best believe. If I did MattyB, I gotta do Jakey. Nobody called him Jakey. Anyway, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, please let me know if you want me to do an episode on someone else in the future, or a lot of times I get people being like, you should do this person, you should do this person. And it's like, I already talked about them in a previous episode. I mean, just for the sake of engagement, comment it first and then go and check to see if I've already made a video because the engagement is preferable. And also if you want to hit that notification bell so you know every single time that I upload, I'm being more consistent on here. No, I have actually been more consistent on here. That's a promise I kept and I'm going to continue to keep. As always, thank you for watching. Shout out to my patrons. If you would like to donate to my Patreon, then please click on the link in the description or the one that's on screen. Thank you so much to my top patrons. You make buying groceries and occasionally gas possible. Even the smallest, like lowest tier on the platform is very helpful to me in a very unstable industry. But if you would like to see a lot more of my weirder content that like tends to flop when I post it on here, then please check out my Patreon. I have like 3+ years worth of back catalog. Thank you to my other lovely patrons. Your name should be scrolling on screen as I speak. Bye.